Have you ever wondered if the deluxe beverage package will be worth it for you? Well, I broke down my use of the deluxe beverage package on my last Royal Caribbean cruise day by day so that you can figure out if this package will be worth it for you. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, Rob from Cruise Seekers, and I'm going to break down the drink package day by day, my use of it day by day on my last Royal Caribbean cruise. I have never purchased a drink package before. This is the very first time I've ever did it, and I was always wondering, is it worth it? It looked like it would be worth it for me. I'm not a huge drinker, but I do like, lattes. I do like fresh squeezed orange juice. I do like sodas and all those other things. So I decided to take the plunge and make a decision to say, hey, let me see if this is something I want to cruise with in the future. I'll do it this one time and then I'll know, and can make a better decision from that point forward, right? Knowledge is power. So I'm going to take this information that I wrote down for myself. I made a decision if it's worth it for me or not. We'll check that out later at the end of this video, and you're going to see exactly what I did every day on my cruise and see what the cost was if I was to purchase everything a la carte versus what I purchased on the pre-planner, the cruise planner. So sit back. Stay tuned. I'm going to break down every day everything I drank on my Royal Caribbean cruise last October. But before I break down the drink package, I would like to invite everybody who is not currently a Cruise Seeker crew member, please think about subscribing. Turn that little notification bell on. It's free. It's a wonderful way for you to know when we put out brand new videos. We do tons of videos about value on cruising. If you want to know what's the best way to get the most value, the most bang for your buck on cruising, not necessarily budget, bang for your buck. We're talking about value, folks. If you want to learn more about that, please think about subscribing. Turn that little notification bell on. Thanks in advance. All right, here we go. We went on Allure of the Seas in the end of October, and it was, again, another great cruise. We enjoyed it. There were some little bumps and bruises to the cruise. I will get into that with a video about that a little bit later on. We're going to have a full review of our cruise on the Allure of the Seas in October. So stay tuned for that. Again, turn that little notification bell on and subscribe, and you'll get notification when that video comes out. But this was an interesting cruise for us because this was the very first time we ever decided to cruise with a drink package. I went with the deluxe beverage package, and my wife, since she's not a drinker, she had to get the refreshment package. Royal Caribbean will do that for you, but you do have to call them in order for you to do that. You can't just do it in the cruise planner. It won't work. You have to call them directly, let them know of the situation, and they will allow you to purchase the deluxe beverage package for one person and the refreshment package for the other. So we embarked Allure of the Seas and we headed straight for the Park Cafe. We usually go to the Park Cafe over the Windjammer mainly because the Windjammer gets very crowded. I have a whole video about things to do on Allure of the Seas, places to eat and stuff like that. Some tips and tricks about Allure of the Seas. Please take a look at those videos. I will post one of them right over here for you so you can kind of get an idea of some pretty cool secrets and tips to do on Allure of the Seas to avoid crowds. One of them is to avoid that Windjammer during Embarkation Day. So that's what we did. Anyway, here we go. So that's where we parked. We got ourselves a nice little lunch there. I got myself a drink. I got my wife a mocktail at that time. She also wanted a soda, so I got her both a mocktail and a soda. So there we go. That was our first drink, right? Very first drink. We had a good lunch there. I decided to kind of swing back to the trellis bar and have a second drink, try another one. So there you go. Right off the bat, 2 drinks right there. We were part of a Facebook group, a very active Facebook group, which was really awesome because we had a planned meet and greet around 4:30, and that's where we headed off next. We went to the Wipeout bar where everybody was going to be, and I was there a little bit earlier, and I got my first drink. I got my wife another soda. We just kind of relaxed, waited for the rest of the people coming in, and as they started funneling in, we started making new friends. It was great. We had a couple more drinks there too. I think, let me see exactly in my log. My log says I had 3 drinks at the Wipeout Cafe. I guess I was kind of in the mood to imbibe with other people who were imbibing at the time. So then at dinner time, it was a nice quiet dinner. We sat down in the main dining room. I had 2 glasses of wine during that time, and I also finished off with a latte, which was pretty cool. So that day, the overall day went with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cocktails, 2 glasses of wine, and a specialty coffee. Not a bad day. I did get a good value for that day. So I purchased the drink package for $68 per day, and I spent about $93 if I was to purchase that a la carte. So that was a good day. Next day was a sea day. Sea days are usually a big drinking day. On this sea day, we went to the main dining room for a sit down breakfast, which was really nice. I had a fresh squeezed orange juice. I had a double shot of espresso in my cappuccino or latte. I think it was a latte that morning. Let me see. Yeah, it was a latte. So I had one of those, and that was our breakfast. So after my brunch with my wife, I did have I guess you could call it an appointment or a scheduled visit with someone who was a cruise seeker crew member who happened to be on the cruise with us, which was really cool. We had someone to kind of meet and say hello to, and I met Peter Chan and at that time, and we had another breakfast. He didn't eat breakfast, and I had another fresh squeezed orange juice. So that was that, right? That was that morning. Oh, I did have a cappuccino too with him, I believe. Yeah. As the day went on, I was feeling a little bit better. We went to another kind of event that our Facebook group had. We had a slot pull, which was really cool. We met everybody at the casino, the Casino Royale in Allure of the Seas, and I had one drink, a cocktail, at that time around noon. And then I had to go and do a cabin crawl that I scheduled for everybody in our Facebook group. But after the cabin crawl, I did go to Trellis Bar and I did grab one more drink, one more cocktail at that time before I headed back to my room. We had a late dinner that night. So before dinner, we decided to go to Sooners Bar to play some games and kind of just hang out, my wife and myself. During that time, I started drinking again because I was feeling better. And I had about 3 drinks in the Sooner Bar. I found something that I really, really thought I wouldn't like, but I did. That lavender daiquiri was amazing. I enjoyed the heck out of that. And I also enjoyed the espresso martinis. It was really, really good. So those were some fun drinks that I had while we were waiting for dinner. So off to dinner, my wife and I went. Once again, I had another glass of wine. We kind of just relaxed. We had a nice quiet night. We decided before we would go to bed, I would get a nightcap. We would watch the Aqua Theater show right from our cabin, which was really cool because we had one of those cabins on the boardwalk, which was very far at the aft. The last one, by the way. So we had a beautiful sight line for the Aqua Theater right from our room, which was great because I was able to have my drink from my balcony, watch the show. If you want to see that cabin, take a look at the video that I post right here and you can take a look at that cabin. It was a really nice way to kind of end the evening. So that day, wow, we had one cocktail at the casino bar. We had one cocktail at Trellis. We had 3 at Sooners. We had one glass of wine and one more cocktail at my room that I brought up from the champagne bar. So that day, everything all said and done between all the orange juices, the lattes that I had, the drinks, the wine, it was going to be a cost of about $111 if I was to purchase that on my own. As I said, I purchased a deluxe beverage package for $68 a day. Another good, positive day. The next day, we were in Puerto Plata, which was a really nice, beautiful place to go to in the Dominican Republic. It was the first time Allure of the Seas ever visited that beautiful port, and it was a great time. My wife and I, we did a beach all-inclusive type of thing out in the Caribbean. It was a great day. We had a great ride out there, seeing beautiful scenery, had a nice beach day. Before we went, though, I had a glass of orange juice from the Park Cafe, one of those freshly squeezed orange juices, and I also got my wife and myself a latte to go on as we were waiting for the excursion and we were waiting for our time to go off the ship. And I also got a bottled water. So when we were on the bus going to the beach excursion, I had something to kind of sip at. So that's basically what we did in the morning. And from there, we were pretty much well taken care of by the excursion. And we didn't get back to the boat until about 3 o'clock. And we decided to kind of hang out by the Sooner Bar, had a couple more drinks myself, paced out over 2 hours. So that was that. That was my day. And then we went out to dinner at the main dining room once again. And we had a great dinner. I had one glass of wine and I also finished it off with a cappuccino afterwards. We did see Mamma Mia, the show Mamma Mia that night. So I grabbed a drink at the beginning of Mamma Mia, had that, nursed that through the first act. And then I grabbed the second one during the second act. And that was it. That was my drinking for the day. Overall, we had one latte, one orange juice, and one bottled water in the morning, two drinks at Sooners, one wine during dinner, a cappuccino, and two drinks during Mamma Mia, one in before the show started and one at the intermission. And that was my day. A total of $86. Again, beat out the $68 that I purchased my alcohol, my deluxe beverage package for, and that was it. So next day was at Labadee, one of the specialty, not specialty, private islands. It's really not an island; it's an isthmus off of Haiti. Labadee is a beautiful location that Royal Caribbean has had for a long time. On that day, my wife and I, as we were heading toward the pier to get off the boat, we decided to grab a cup of coffee, and I got an orange juice as well, and went out to the beach. While we were there, I parked ourselves at a nice location on the beach. One of the guys came by, asked if we wanted something to drink. My wife was already in the water. I was just kind of getting myself situated, and I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take a Bloody Mary." And that's what I had in the morning. And that was pretty much it before until about around close to noon. Then I had another drink on the beach, and then we went to go grab something to eat at that time. And as we were eating, I did have another drink soon thereafter. And we said, you know what? Do we want to go back to the beach? My wife and I, we decided let's go to the straw market, take a look at those things. Since we got back from Labadee a little bit early, it was a nice, quiet time on the ship. That's when I went around. I took a lot of video of the ship where it was pretty darn quiet, which was pretty cool too. All right. So after that, my wife and I, we decided to kind of relax a little bit over at the champagne bar in the main promenade. After we got ourselves all cleaned up, we played some Yahtzee, we played some cards, we did a little bit of drinking. She had, some mocktails. I did about, during this 2.5 hours, I had probably about three drinks. Let me take a look. Yeah, three drinks at the champagne bar. And then we went back to our room, got ourselves ready for dinner. So during dinner for that night, I had a simple glass of wine and just an espresso afterwards. And that was it. I didn't drink any more at that time. But overall, with everything all tallied up, it would have cost me about $105. Well, it would have cost me exactly $105 if I was to purchase that without an alcohol package. All right, day five, another sea day. Those tend to be very big drinking days, but not for me. As I said, I'm not a big drinker. Started off with an OJ and a latte during my breakfast. I did have a Bloody Mary in the morning. After that, when we put ourselves in the solarium, so I got a Bloody Mary, sat down, relaxed for a good 2 hours, nursing one Bloody Mary all the way to around close to 11:30. At that time, I had another drink in the solarium bar, which was pretty good. It was nice. It was a mojito, and it was nice. It was warm outside, so it was very refreshing. And that was that. After that, we went to Azumi's for our sea day lunch, which was great. And I had two drinks from Azumi, some of the really cool specialty drinks at the specialty restaurants. It was called a spicy Okinawa, I believe. That was that for that afternoon. So now it's around 2:30 at that time. We decided to head to Trellis to kind of just relax a little bit, sit down, enjoy the sounds of the fake pumped in bird sounds. But we did enjoy that because we knew at that time at 2:30 the solarium was going to be crowded. So that's where we went. I grabbed a drink at Trellis while we were just relaxing in that area, and enjoyed a nice quiet afternoon reading a book, those type of things. After that, my wife and I decided to go get ready for dinner, and went to dinner at that evening and had a glass of wine. And at that time, I saw one person down the way from us get an Irish coffee after their dinner. I go, oh, that looks interesting. I'll finish off my dinner with an Irish coffee instead of a latte. That was it for my day. $96 in total. Again, pretty good value compared to the $68 that I spent. Day six was Coco Cay for us. Day six was a nice day. Every time when we go off the ship, our routine was to grab an orange juice, to grab a latte, and to grab a bottle of water. So that's what we did during this time. We got off the ship, went to Coco Cay, found ourselves a nice little spot on Shell Island, relaxed there for most of the morning. During that morning, I had one drink in the AM, a Bloody Mary, and in the early afternoon before lunch, I had one pina colada. And that was it for me on the beach. During that time, I spent a lot of time in the water, a lot of time in the sun, wasn't kind of lounging around, so not a lot of drinking to be done. And that was that. That's all that I drank during our time on Coco Cay. We got back to the boat around, I would say, 2 o'clock. Got all the sand off us. Relaxed then over at the Sooner Bar, listening to some piano music, playing some games. We spent a good 2.5 hours there, my wife and I. And during that time, I had two drinks, and that was it. Kind of stretched it out over the 2.5 hours. Finally, we decided to go get ready for dinner. Went to dinner, and this time I had my one glass of wine and what I'd like for an end of dinner drink. Instead of doing that Irish coffee that I did last night, I decided let me do a glass of port wine, which I really enjoyed. That's a really nice way to kind of end a meal, especially with the port wine and your dessert. I enjoyed that way to end the meal. And that was our day on day 6. It was only $91 that I would have normally spent. Finally, day 7 was a boat day for us. We were in the port of Nassau. Nassau was not a place we really kind of wanted to hang out. We were trying to figure out, do we want to go off the boat? Do we not want to go off the boat? We decided just to stay on the boat, have a boat day, so to speak, and kind of have a nice, quiet solarium day. We did get an orange juice in the morning, as we always do, from the Park Cafe, and a double shot latte in the morning to kind of get our day going. And we just relaxed for, the better part of the morning. Didn't do any drinking until around, I would say, 11 o'clock. Let me see. Yeah, around 11 o'clock was our first drink at the Solarium Bar. Had a nice drink there. Had a second drink around 12 noon. And after that, we decided to go to lunch around 1:30 at that time, and we went over to the Windjammer. Over in the Windjammer, I grabbed a hard seltzer to drink while I was eating my lunch. In our generation, we had Bartles and James, right? The wine coolers. Is hard seltzers today's Bartles and James? That's a question. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I think it is. So anyway, I had a hard seltzer, and we just kind of at that time decided to really walk around the ships. It's the last day on it. Enjoy what we have. We decided to go to the champagne bar to sit down, play some more games. During that time, I had a couple more drinks, mixed drinks at that time, and we went back to our room at that for getting ready for our final dinner on the Lord of the Seas. While we were there at dinner, I had another glass of wine, and I finished it off with a latte. And that was it for that day, day 7 for us. So for that day, that final day, it was probably my lowest consumption, and it was $87 as a whole. Overall, I got value for what I purchased. Would I have normally drank that much on my own choices? Probably not. I always felt that I need to get another drink. I always need to get another. I always felt that kind of need to let me grab another drink instead of just having one at the bar. I might have two. Instead of having two during a 3 hour span, I might have had three. With that in mind, for me, if I was to think about doing this again, I would have to make a long and hard decision. I can probably get the $68 and drink the way I want to drink, but it would be almost close to what I would do a la carte. For other people, this is a light course of drinking. And they would go, wow, you got a really good value at $68 and didn't even have to drink that much alcohol. You didn't even drink after dinner much. I hardly drank after dinner. So there you go, folks. That's our video about the drink package and how I used it and how I got value out of it. I hope it will help you make a decision on if you should get a drink package. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. We love comments. I have nothing better to do than to read your comments. I actually love reading them. So just leave a comment down below. We answer to them all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps. It does a lot. Please give it a thumbs up. Till we talk again next time, folks. This is Rob from Cruise Seekers reminding each and every one of you to always seek the seas. Bye now.